Cancer, hello, welcome back. This is your weekly read, Cancer. This is for Cancer with positions Sun, Moon, and Rising, and or, I suppose, Rising. I'm going to take 4 because I didn't stop there. This is a general reading. Getting a lot of the similar cards that have come out in other readings as well. Who was it? Taurus, maybe? These two were in Taurus. This was someone else. General reading. So it may be your energies I'm picking up on. It may not be. Okay. If it doesn't resonate, don't try to force that fit. There are some other videos on the channel from past weeks that you can check out. I think it's more important when you hear the message, Cancer, than when I recorded it. I do believe we hear the things we need to hear when we need to hear them. And so if this one doesn't resonate for you, then possibly check out some of the other videos or just come back next week and maybe that will be your read. We're using the Santa Muerte Tarot today. The Santa Muerte Tarot is from Fabio Lestrani. He's the artist and the creator of the deck. It's stunning. This art is beautiful. He has some different interpretations in his guidebook. Really interesting stuff, but I'm not fully versed in it yet since I just bought the deck. So I'm going to use my standard interpretations and my intuition to read the cards for you today. With all deference to the artist, I will set homework for myself to become more familiar with the meanings he has attached to the cards. Let's see what we have. We have the King of Cups. There's a warm, supportive energy here. There's a lot of compassion around you this week, Cancer. You've got some support in your environment, which is great. You've got inner strength, that sort of resilience, and just, you know, your inner guidance system is online. It's clear to you where you're going. This also can speak to compassion and bravery. You're really focused and learning how to support yourself through changes, which is nice, Cancer. Whatever you're going through right now, it's helping you to learn how to take good care of yourself. The Hermit is coming up next, which tells me this week you may be a bit reflective. You may be turning inward, looking for your truth, listening to that inner voice, Cancer, trying to sort things out. And the Moon is coming up next, which is the hidden, the intuitive. It's your intuition. And if you're going in, kind of setting yourself aside from society for a while and focusing on your inner voice, this Moon card tells me you're going to find the answers that you're looking for. You're going to find that connection to divine through intuition that you need to help you figure out your next steps. I just want to show you the artwork on this card because it's stunning. It's the reflection of the moon in the water. You can see the character there. There's an actual, most of the characters in this deck are skeletons, and here we have a flesh and blood human looking into the surface and seeing herself once she crosses to that other side of the veil. Stunning. There's a knowing represented by that imagery that is just beautiful. It's being able to look inside and see your true essence, and you have the opportunity this week to really get in touch with that if you're able to spend some time by yourself, Cancer, and just focus on meditating on the questions that are in your heart right now. You have compassion and support for you externally and for yourself internally, so it seems like it might be a really good personal growth week for you, Cancer. I'm kind of getting that sense. I'm going to pull one of the Halloween Oracle cards just to finish off for you. And this is by Stacy DeMarco. The artwork is by Jimmy Manton. I like to give credit to the artists because sometimes there's a difference. In the Santa Muerte, the artist has created the book as well, you know, the text as well as the artwork. But in many decks, there's a difference between the two. And I usually buy the decks for the artwork, to be honest, because I don't really need 50 decks, but they're all just so beautiful. We have Vampire, Emotional Intelligence. This is your card this week. I've got those lights. There we go. Let's look up the meaning here. Vampire. While there are almost uncountable examples of vampires in literature, movies, and games, somehow the archetype of the blood-hunting, night-stalking, and somewhat elegant creature keeps being reinvented to seduce yet another generation. Although the beautiful and somewhat desirable vampire form doesn't really begin to enter the public consciousness until the mid-1800s, the idea of a human feeding upon the very stuff of life is much older. The Egyptians, Sumerians, Indians, and the Balkan people all have mythos creating vampire-like creatures. The vampire is an interesting figure because it is both horrifying and desirable. Having someone want us so much they desire to be that closely linked with us does feel good until we realize there is nothing much left of us to give. Most of us have heard of the concept of emotional vampires, the idea that people feed off our energy and our goodwill and take advantage of us through manipulation and their incessant neediness. Should the vampire card appear in your reading, it may indicate that you are being drained in this way, and the time has come for stronger boundaries. We need to be very aware of what gives us energy in our lives and what takes it away. We should be aware of needing people to need us and why we invite people like this into our homes, workplaces, and lives, if indeed we have them around us. Developing the emotional intelligence within ourselves helps us defend against this kind of emotional and psychic attack and enables us to foster healthy and equal relationships of all kinds. So, perhaps that's what you're contemplating here. You're looking at a relationship that you're currently involved in of some sort, romantic, professional, other, and you really have some questions around the boundaries there and what is reasonable for you to set as limits. How do you do that? If that's your space of inquiry right now, it seems that spending some time alone, really just stepping back from this person for a period of time and asking yourself the hard questions and listening to your inner voice, doing some meditating, spending some time in spiritual observation to try to understand is really going to help you. That this will definitely help you to address a question like that. If it's a question of whether or not you're doing that to someone else, that may be something that you also need to spend some time on. It will be different for anyone watching, different for each of you. I think we can all find ourselves in either role at certain points in our life. And where you can recognize that that may be the case, that you may be the person who is an emotional vampire for someone else, this type of time and reflection will absolutely help you to compassionately, right? Compassion, to deal with that situation compassionately, not only with them, but compassion for yourself as well, and to figure out where you need to step back or you need to reassess how you engage. I don't know that it's you. I don't know that that's even an issue for any of you. You may just be dealing with something unrelated to that, but this is what we have from Spirit for you this week, Cancer. Thank you so much for sharing this time with me. It is always an honor to read for you. Thank you for the likes, shares, and subscribes. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so. We'd love to have you join us. And I think that's it. I hope you have a fantastic week. Blessings.